Everything you know about modern warfare is wrong. While world powers pour billions into massive armored artillery batteries, Sweden has proven these giants are actually sitting ducks. The Archer system isn't just a new weapon, it's a death sentence for heavy platforms that rely on armor instead of speed. In a world of precision-guided strikes, standing still is a suicide mission. We're breaking down how Sweden's Archer uses a shoot-and-scoot philosophy to vanish before an enemy can even register the launch. Discover why agility has officially replaced raw power as the ultimate survival tool on the modern battlefield. What does a fighter jet have in common with a truck-mounted howitzer? By applying the Gripen's lean philosophy to ground combat, Sweden has created a dispersed defense network that makes traditional tanks look like relics. We're analyzing the technical precision that allows these mobile modules to outclass the world's heaviest platforms.
There was a time when the battlefield belonged to giants. Massive steel machines, heavy tracked artillery, and huge armored platforms moved across the land like symbols of power. They looked terrifying, they felt unstoppable, and for decades they represented the confidence of an older military age. But in 2026, something has changed. The battlefield has eyes everywhere now. Satellites are watching from above, drones are flying across the front, thermal cameras are scanning forests, roads, fields, and ruins, and artificial intelligence is detecting movement faster than a human commander can react. Suddenly, the biggest machine on the battlefield is not always the strongest. Sometimes it is simply the easiest target. This is the death of the Iron Giant, and one weapon from Sweden may explain what comes next. Its name is Archer. Modern war is no longer fought on a clean and simple front line. That old idea of tanks in front, artillery behind them, and the enemy clearly positioned on the other side is disappearing. Today, the front line is not really a line anymore. It has become a transparent zone, a dangerous and constantly watched space where every engine sound, every heat signature, every radio signal, and even every tire track can become a death sentence. In Ukraine, the world has seen this new reality clearly. Vehicles that once depended on armor for survival now depend on speed, concealment, electronic discipline, and constant movement. Heavy platforms still have power, and nobody can deny that. But power means nothing if you cannot survive long enough to use it.
That is the brutal lesson of modern artillery. A gun fires, enemy radar detects the shell, drones begin searching the area, counter battery systems calculate the firing position, and if that artillery system is still sitting there when the answer comes back, it may not get a second shot. This is why traditional heavy artillery is under pressure. It is not because it lacks firepower, but because it often lacks time. And in modern war, time is life. Sweden looked at this problem differently. Instead of asking how to build the heaviest gun, Sweden asked how to build a gun that can fire, disappear, and live. That is the Archer philosophy. At first glance, Archer does not look like an old battlefield monster. It is not a giant tracked beast crawling forward like an iron fortress. It is a wheeled artillery system, fast, automated, digital, and designed for movement. This was Sweden's bold choice. Rather than depending on heavy tracks, Archer was built around mobility. It can move on roads, redeploy over long distances, and operate with a much smaller logistical burden than many tracked systems. That matters more than people think, because the modern battlefield does not reward the platform that looks strongest in a parade. It rewards the platform that can arrive, strike, and vanish before the enemy fully understands what happened.
The most frightening thing about Archer is not just its gun, it is the speed of the entire combat loop. The crew receives coordinates, the vehicle stops, the system positions itself, the gun fires, and then Archer moves again. All of this can happen in seconds. The crew does not need to climb outside and expose themselves to drones, fragments, and enemy observation. They stay inside the protected cabin. The loading is automated, the fire mission is digitized, and the entire system is designed so humans are protected from the most dangerous part of the job, standing outside on a battlefield where something is always watching. This is not just engineering, it is a survival philosophy. A normal artillery system thinks in minutes. Archer thinks in seconds, and that difference can decide whether a crew goes home or becomes another burning mark in a drone video. This is where the real fear begins. Imagine an enemy position sitting miles away. For a moment, everything is quiet. Then, without warning, shells begin falling. Not one, not slowly, but several rounds arriving in a coordinated impact, almost as if they came from multiple guns at once. That is the power of modern fire control and multi-round simultaneous impact. One system can create the shock effect of something much larger. And by the time the enemy realizes where the fire came from, Archer may already be gone. This is the art of the ghost strike. You do not stay to admire the damage. You do not wait for the enemy to respond. You do not let pride kill you. You fire, move, hide, and prepare to fire again from somewhere else.
To me, this is one of the biggest emotional shifts in modern war. The old battlefield admired machines that stood their ground. The new battlefield respects machines that refuse to be found. People love talking about armor, range, and firepower, but wars are often decided by something far less glamorous: fuel, maintenance, spare parts, road access, transport vehicles, and repair time. A heavy tracked system can be powerful, but it also demands a heavy support chain. It needs more fuel, more maintenance, more transport planning, and more recovery support if something goes wrong. A wheeled system like Archer changes that equation. It can use road infrastructure more easily, reposition faster across long distances, and avoid some of the heavy transport problems that slow down older systems. Survival is not only about surviving one strike, it is about surviving day after day, mission after mission, and move after move. The weapon that can keep fighting with less strain on the army behind it may become more valuable than the weapon that looks strongest on paper. That is the economic reality of modern survival. So, does this mean every heavy platform is dead? No, that would be too simple. Heavy armor and tracked artillery will still exist. They will still have roles, and they still carry firepower, protection, and battlefield value. But the old belief that size automatically equals dominance is dying. That belief belongs to another age. The future is moving toward dispersed firepower, automated systems, rapid relocation, AI-assisted targeting, drone integration, and smaller mobile units working like a network. Not one giant fist, but 100 moving blades. This is the direction Archer points toward, a battlefield where artillery is not a sitting fortress, but a hunter, a ghost, a machine that appears for a moment, strikes with precision, and disappears into distance, trees, smoke, roads, and silence. Personally, I think that is why Archer feels so important. It is not just a weapon, it is a warning. A warning to every army still trapped in the industrial age mindset that bigger is always better. Because in 2026, the battlefield does not care how expensive you are. It does not care how heavy your armor is. It does not care how powerful you look. If you can be seen, you can be targeted. If you stay too long, you can be destroyed. And if you cannot move fast enough, the war may move past you. Sweden's Archer is not the only answer to modern artillery, but it may be one of the clearest signs of the future. The Iron Giant is not falling because it became weak. It is falling because the world around it became too fast, too visible, and too intelligent. And on this new battlefield, the survivor is not always the strongest machine. Sometimes it is the one that disappears first. Thanks for watching video. Like and subscribe to my channel for new updates daily.